All right, so what I will do is actually just spotlight Elman and myself so that you guys don't have to be in the recording. So welcome everyone. My name's Claire Wells. I am one of the leaders for Thermomix in the Canberra up to sort of Sydney region. And I've been doing Thermomix for quite a few years here with Elman in Canberra. And, we're here to show you a little bit about the TM6, which is our latest model. Both Elman and I started around the TM31 days. So we've also had TM31s, TM5s, and TM6s. I'm a little bit rusty when it comes to the previous models. It's been about 5 years now, but we definitely will be able to answer any of your questions that you might have and show you what we know about the 6. And we would love to sort of share not only our knowledge, but inspiration around, if there is recipe inspiration once we hit our Cookidoo workshop, and also the opportunity to consider coming on board and being consultants with us. They don't all do Thermomix full time like we do, but we'd love to give you a little taste of what that is as well. Elman, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, hi everyone. I've been with Thermomix. This is my 15th year. Can you believe it, Claire? It's just crazy. Having so much fun, and I would love everybody to come and join our teams and have some more fun. So please feel free to ask questions about it. We have learned quite a lot about the 6 being a consultant. That's one of the ways that you really learn to get to learn your Thermomix and know your Thermomix and what it can do. But we are here to answer your questions. So please feel free to put them in the chat. Or come off mute and just ask the questions and we will help you with that.
Awesome. All right. So before we get started, we're going to just do a little bit of cooking for you today, not a lot, but I'm going to bring up an image I want to show you. And this one highlights all of the modes of the TM6. When the TM6 first came out 5 years ago, it didn't have nowhere near as many modes. The amazing thing about the 6 model is the ability to upgrade through the technology. And so anytime there's a new mode, we get to have that on our Thermomix. So from looking at these ones, I would love you guys just to type in the chat if any of them jump out to you as of an interest point. Because we won't necessarily have time today to cover off every single mode. We'll definitely touch on them, but if there's any that you really want to know about and learn about, Elman and I can make sure that we cover those off in the next 25 minutes that we've got with you. So I know that one of our favorites and a lot of consultants' favorites is the one that Elman's going to show you tonight. And the one I'm going to show you is sort of the big buzz of what the TM6 can do, which is the high heat temperature. You'll just have to wait and see what Elman's is. Maybe someone can have a little guess and throw that in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to bring you over I've got a couple of Thermomixes here with me because I can't show you the modes while I'm cooking in one of them. And so I'm going to do the high heat for you. And so very, very similar to your TM5s that you've got in terms of the casing of the machine. Don't have the cook key though, it's all inbuilt into the Thermomix. And if I just bring you up here, you can see that it's a slightly bigger screen and you've got the ability to access the internet on your Thermomix. So here we've got Cookidoo when we swipe to the right. And I can actually type into this and choose recipes that I want to make. So if I didn't know what I wanted to make and I was just on my Thermomix, I could type in something. So tonight I'm going to do some onions. So I could just put in onions and I could search for that recipe through here. So what it's brought up, I could do some barbecue onions or just some plain chopped onions, browned onions. And so I would click on that one and then it brings me to my screen where I start cooking. So I can have a look at the recipe. I can see the difficulty, total time, and I can also move to different steps if I want to skip some. So that's that way. I also wanted to show you how I could access it. On Cookidoo, we do weekly meal planning. So in our Cookidoo session later on, we're going to show you how to do that one and create collections. So you can find those in the settings section on your Thermomix. You've got my recipes, which is the created collections that I've put in myself. I've also got my week. And so these are the recipes that I had in my meal plan for today, including the sauteed eschalots, which is the one that I'm going to do for you guys now. So I click on that, and just like if you have a different model of Thermomix, I'm just going to follow the prompts on the screen. So this is the guided cooking that I am able to do. So 10 grams of olive oil, a little bit of butter, so 10 grams of butter. And then I've got myself some eschalots. Now with the high heat, what you want to do is chop them up into wedges, and that you want a little bit of resistance when you're chopping in your high heating in your TM6. So that goes all in. And then all I do now is it's asking for my splash guard. So this is an additional, this is an additional accessory that comes with the TM6, and it's a safety feature so that when we are up to 160 degrees in our Thermomix on high heat, so the TM5 and the TM31 get to a maximum of 120 degrees. The TM6 will go up to 160. So we want to make sure we protect ourselves from any potential splatters. Now, there's 3 little lines there. That means it's high heat programmed in. It doesn't give me the option to do anything with that other than change the timer. So let's have a go. And so that one is set for 14 minutes. Just going to let that work its magic. All right, so Elman, over to you. You're going to show us our favorite mode.
Yeah, my favorite mode. So are you going to zoom into the modes? I'm just going to show you in here. All right, so I'm going to see, hope you can see that you can get going. Now that, can you see that, Claire? Right, so as you can see, there's quite a lot of modes there. So to get to the modes, basically from your home screen, you just swipe to the left, and that gives you the access to all of the modes that you can have. Now, one of the favorite modes that I love is the egg boiler mode. All right, so that's what I'm going to show you tonight. So the egg boiler mode, as you can see, it says soft, medium, medium soft, medium hard, and hard. Now, what is also nice about the Thermomix, it also has the information about that in there. So if you just press the little I at the top there, you have all the information, what they mean by that different cooking points that we have there. So yeah, you can say medium soft is liquid yolk and soft egg white. All right, or if you say medium, it's partly soft yolk. All right, so all of those things that you can do. The medium soft is almost like a poached egg that you can do. And if you want to make your potato salads or egg salads or egg sandwiches and stuff, you will probably go to hard. Right, so and this is what's so nice, because you can hide this information. And when you hide the information, it comes up like this, but you can always access it there. It's always readily available for you. All right, so what they say there in the information is you take eggs, 4 to 6 eggs out of the fridge, right? Out of the fridge, and you just put it in between the blades. So I'm just going to take that out. So basically, you just pop it in there. I'll just try to do that. So you can do 4 to 6 eggs. Just place it between the blades like that. 4 or 6, and I've heard some consultants have done 8 with success, but I usually do 4 to 6. And once it's in there, you just top it up to the 1 liter mark with water. All right, so just pour water in there, and you will see the 1 liter mark is on the inside of the bowl, so it's easy enough to see where you are at the 1 liter mark. Okay. Now, other tips that I can give you with egg boiler mode, if you want to peel your eggs easier, you can put a little bit of vinegar in there at the time that you want to start it. And then basically you just turn it to whatever preferred cooking point you want. So for me, I'm just going to go to medium hard, because I will use that to make a sandwich. Oh. And that's how easy that is. So that's going to take me 12 minutes. So in that 12 minutes, you can do something else, clean up the house, enjoy a cup of tea. It's so much nicer to have that.
Can you guys hear my Thermomix going off? Can you hear that, Elman? It's
Not
doing
really.
a whole bunch of like sizzling in the Thermomix.
Oh, it's so nice. I can hear it slightly, Claire.
It sounds really loud here. So what happens in the high heat is that it turns, it stops, it allows the high heat to work, to sear the food, and then it does another little half turnaround. So the blades stop. On a lot of our modes, the blades will stop. And so we love egg boiler as well. As a hack, once upon a time, I accidentally left like toffee in my Thermomix and forgot to take it out, and it became a rock on my blades. And so I just put on egg boiler mode because it doesn't turn, the blades don't turn, it just heats it up. And then I was able to pour it out. So there's a few hacks that we can do with our amazing modes. So while Elman's eggs cook and my onions or echalot saute, we're just gonna have a little look at some of the other modes. So we've got scales and dough, which are also on the TM5 and on the TM31. Pre-clean mode, that's pretty fun. We all use that one. And the TM5, you can access a quick clean. This one's a little bit more comprehensive. You've got the option to do short dough, universal, fat or caramel or browning. Sometimes when we do high heat or caramel, do sugar work, sugar stages, we can have caramelization or browning on the bottom of the bowl, just like you would if you were cooking in a saucepan. And so that sort of allows the Thermomix to help clean that off easily for you. So we love that one. Did we have, what did we
Also
have?
remember the scales are fantastic in the TM6 in that way, that it's 1 gram increments. So you can have much more precise weighing, especially if you love baking and things like that. This is a fantastic way of getting that precise amount into your Thermomix.
Sorry, I'm leaning on mine. So I've also got my glider boards here, which help protect our scales. They're amazing. Elman, what was it? Did we have any modes put into the chat?
None.
Okay, so you guys are just happy to see what happens, correct? So the Thermomix sensor is a mode on its own. Now that one is our attachment here. So this allows us to sort of do temperature control when we're baking in our oven, or on our fry pan outside of our Thermomix. So that's precision control, and we have that option through the Thermomix. Come along to one of our cooking classes if you want to know a little bit more about a sensor. We usually take that and talk about it. I think this one's pretty cool. What do you reckon about chop mode, Elman?
That is really a fantastic way of learning your Thermomix as well. So if you want to start creating your own recipes and you want to put in how long you have to chop anything, you can go to this mode and it will give you all the ideas. So even if you want to grate chocolate and make your own fondant or anything like that, you can go in there and it will tell you exactly how long and what the measures are to get that, whether you want it fine or coarse. So it gives you a good guide of everything that you can chop in the Thermomix. And that's also quite handy if you, once you start creating your own recipes as well, or adapting your recipes.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that actually. That's a really good idea. I think this is really great for new owners of the Thermomix. So anyone who sort of hasn't experienced it before, once you've had a Thermomix for a while, you kind of know how it works. You learn about it really, you learn what speeds do what temperatures do what. So this actually teaches you that. So if I've got some pork and I want to mince my pork and I'm not sure how to do it, I can go, right, I want to put in 300 grams, sinew-free, partially frozen, cut into pieces, and it's very specific. It says 3 centimeter. And then I just press set, and that will set my dial and tell me how long to do it for. So it's a really great way to sort of take the guesswork out of milling, chopping, grinding, mincing, a lot of our different functions. So grating and slicing, that comes with our cutter attachment, which you guys can now access through the Mix Shop. So if you haven't ordered yours, then you can do that. It's pretty amazing. I don't use it all of the time, but when I want to use it, I'm so grateful for it. Kettle mode. Do you ever use kettle mode, Elman?
The kettle mode is really quite a nice way of getting a precise heat happening, especially if you're a tea lover. You can get to 70 degrees to have your herbal teas, because that's the best heat for that. And even if you have little bubs, you can heat up the water to a certain point that you can make them milk bottles. All right, so it's really quite a nice thing, and especially if you want to go on holiday, you don't want to worry about anything. That is all contained in there. You've got your kettle mode.
And yeah, if you're having something like green tea, you can turn it down. I use this one to boil water tonight to cook some gnocchi in my Thermomix. That was nice and easy. Now, for anyone who has had a TM6 for a while, you can move the modes around on the screen, and you can remove ones off your screen. So if you want to just have one page of modes and you don't use all of them, you can have a little play around. So you can go edit view, and I can actually change the order or remove some. So I actually quite like all of them. I don't use rice mode a lot, so I could potentially hide that one. But I have found I've hidden ones before, and then I've gone to find them. I'm like, oh my God, I've hidden it. So I do just like to have them. But I could move rice cooker. I could move my warm up mode or fermentation and so on. So I actually like to have my pre-clean in the front and center, because that's the one I sort of go for the most. And then, yeah, the ones I use the most up there. So that's just a nifty little trick that we've got. What's another one of these, Elman, that you love?
Oh, the thickening mode is really a fantastic way of making all your sauces and bechamels and custards and stuff. You just put all the ingredients in there and just choose the thickening mode and get it to start. And it's all done and dusted for you, lump-free.
Yes, I wasn't using thickening mode, and then I was sort of just putting in and setting it myself. And then my sister Anna, she kept using thicken mode. I'm like, what? And so I finally used it to make my gravy, and I was just like, I can't believe I haven't used this sooner. It's incredible. Yeah, totally takes the guesswork out of how long you need to cook your sauce for it to thicken up.
And another one that people don't use a lot is the warm-up mode. And the warm-up mode is quite handy, especially if you have stews and soups and stuff that you would like to heat up. And you can heat it up to a point where you want it. All right, so if you like your food really hot, then you can go to 70 or 80 degrees or whatever you would like. And what is nice about it, it will heat it up. And when it reaches that point, that heating point that you chose, it will call you and say, hey, your food is ready. Come and eat. All right, so that's quite a nice handy mode as well.
The one I tend to use a little bit is fermentation mode. So this one and slow cooking and sous vide, they all use the Thermomix for quite a long period of time. This one, you would normally use your Varoma with it. So you would put your foods in the Varoma. The water in the bowl goes to 70 degrees. You can do less, and you can do up to 12 hours with fermentation mode. So if you're making a yogurt and you wanted to have it set for 12 hours, then you've got that time. And what it does is it keeps the temperature inside the Varoma ambient and enough, just at that beautiful lukewarm or body temperature heat for the yogurt to ferment or whatever's in the Varoma. It's great for also proving your doughs. So if it's pretty cold and it's winter, you could put your dough inside the Thermomat in the Varoma on fermentation mode. There is a little bit of a tip for when you're doing long cooks in your Thermomix. So if you are doing it, you want to have some acid. So it could be lemon juice, it could be some vinegar in the bowl with the water, just to avoid corrosion. So that's just a little bit of a tip for when you are doing something for 12 hours with water on the blades, just to protect it. So, yeah, I suppose what we'd love to know is there anything else that we can share with you that you guys came along for tonight for the Meet the TM6? My dish has about 1.5 minutes to go. How are your eggs going, Elman?
5 minutes.
Okay. All right. So while we've got this little bit of time, we would love to answer any questions you've got. If you're new to the TM6 or you've just upgraded, what would you like to know? And feel free to use the chat as well, if that helps.
Yeah.
Is that an accidental jump off mute?
And one of the modes we haven't discussed is the slow cook mode as well. So the slow cook mode is really quite handy. It can go up to 8 hours that you can do that. And in the beginning, I would suggest that you follow a recipe that you can find on Cookidoo to introduce you to the slow cook, because it tells you exactly how big the pieces of meat and things are in there that you can get the best result. And once you get the hang of that, you can do your own slow cook. Right, so it makes it quite easy to use as long as you keep remembering to put some form of acidity in there. When you do guided, it will automatically do that for you. But when you do your own thing, you really need to think about either putting in some apple cider vinegar or wine or whatever in there to prevent your blades going black. Okay.
All right, so my onions are done. Now the splash guard stayed on the whole time. Once the splash guard's on, the arms actually clip it in, so you can't take it off. Young children can't come along and take it off and burn themselves. And so what you can see here, where's my spatula? Here is my eschalots and that little bit of caramelization on the bottom of my bowl. So you can sort of see that that's what would happen if you were cooking on the stove. With that high heat temperature. But I know when I cook on the stove, I burn my onions because I not very good at standing there stirring the whole time. I get distracted and walk off. So this is a lifesaver for me, just having the ability to do hands-free stirring for high heat stuff. It's pretty amazing. So I've got my 1 litre thermo server. How can you get one of those these days, Elman? A 1 litre?
I think it's on. I think it might be on Big Shop that you can purchase them. I don't know. I haven't checked for a while.
If you haven't checked out our mix shop, go for it. You do get some pretty amazing stuff when you become a consultant. So, you know, if you are thinking of sticking around for our 8 p.m. session tonight, we're going to run through the ins and outs of being a consultant, what's involved, how to get started, and that sort of thing. So don't go spend too much money yet, because you can earn a lot of free stuff once you sign up.
And you must remember, part of the modes that you have, the high heat cooking, when you follow a recipe and after the high heat process is finished and you have a look and say, no, I would love to have it a little bit more toasted or roasted, you can repeat the step. Okay, so it's easy enough to adapt the recipe according to your preference, that you can make that happen.
So I've just put some water in my bowl with a tiny drop of washing up liquid, and I will, once I'm not here in this space, it might be a little bit too noisy, I'm going to put it on pre-clean. And I will do that onto the browning mode. And that one actually heats the water up. It takes quite a bit of time compared to sort of the shorter modes. So probably take about 16 minutes, but I can just set and forget that. And when I come back, it'll be easier to clean that off.
And when you do the high heat or the pre-cleaning with the browning, it's almost better to use a little bit of vinegar instead of the soap, because the vinegar will help to loosen the browning at the bottom of your bowl.
This is really yummy. Look at this amazing, like, caramel.
Oh, it looks yummy, I must say.
Eschalots, so good.
That would be nice on a pizza or anything else. There you go. My eggs are ready. Okay. So, and you know that you can just tap the screen to stop it from singing to you. So that's all done. So my eggs are done. You can't really see that. So the only tip that you have when you do boil the eggs in the Thermomix is like with anything else, you need to go and pour off the boiling water and submerge the eggs in cold water. Otherwise, it will keep on cooking. Right. So I'm just going to do that quickly.
I'm not sure. This is something I really love. Is going to recently cooked. So whenever I go to someone's house, I look at their recently cooked just to have a little bit of a sneak peek what they're cooking in their Thermomix. I love getting recipe inspiration from other people. So, oh, hang on. If I go into recently cooked, it actually gives me the list of things that have already been done. So I've got the sauteed eschalots. I'm just going to move my Thermomix over so you can have a look and you can have a squiz at what I've been cooking. Okay, so the eschalots, I made a lentil and bacon soup tonight. That was amazing. Cashew sour cream, I actually made that to make gnocchi instead of ricotta, and it worked beautifully. This morning for the kids on their way to school, just before school, I made peanut butter cookies and butter biscuits. And then last night for dinner, we had vegetarian chili with jacket potatoes. My daughter made a cake, buttercream icing. I made the spiced fruit loaf. So yeah, it's pretty cool, like working through what people are making in their kitchens at home. And it's a great way to get some recipe inspiration.
And having a meal plan happening, it also helps you to save costs, because then you only buy the things that you really need and not the things that you have to throw away in the end of the week. It's really a good way of managing food waste.
Well, any questions before we move into our Cookidoo workshop? I'm guessing that's so all I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to head over to my office. So I'm not in my kitchen anymore. So just give us like 1 minute.
I will do the same. Die kombuis is julle sin.
Elman, you're not on mute.
Thank you. I just told my hubby they can go into the kitchen now.
It's all right. We didn't understand anyway. The benefits of speaking another language. Oh, I could probably take my apron off now. Oh, well, you can get one of these when you become a consultant, or you get lots. I've got about 4 of them. Okay, Cookidoo. Are we ready? Who's keen? Love you to type in the chat what you would like to learn from Cookidoo tonight. So Elman and I will go with the flow. We've got a few things we want to show you, but if there's anything in particular that you would like to learn a little bit more about, then we will cover that off as well. So we'll just give anyone who's coming just for the Cookidoo workshop a chance to jump on. And while we do that, I will screen share. Okay, so I was wanting to just quickly show you guys what I've done here is I've searched based on TM6 only. So I want to show you for all of you guys who have who wanted to sort of find out the differences with the 5 and the 6 or the 31 and 6, or just seeing what the 6 can do. These 1,633 recipes are only accessible to people who have a TM6. Some of them will be doubled up though. So you'll have versions for the 5, like the hollandaise sauce. But these particular ones are accessible to the TM6 people. So the sous vide scrambled eggs, that one is using the sous vide mode, of course. It's a long process for just scrambled eggs, but it's, something different and it's set and forget. So this is the list of stuff. It's pretty cool. Some of these I probably wouldn't make, and others I would love to add to my wish list. So I just wanted to show you what you could find, and you just do that through your filters. So we are going to explore that a little bit more. All right, well, let's get going. So first up, we're going to show you how you can change your settings. So we're going to go into our profile. Now you can put a little photo in if you like. I write Thermomix Explorers because then I get to share that image. Hello, Thermomix Explorers. What would you like to cook today? For sort of Thermomix promotional stuff. but you would put your name there. And so every time you turn on your Thermomix, Cookidoo says hello to you. Now you can choose sort of what your cooking style is. I, at the moment, have the time-saving cook. But you know, if I wanted to have a little bit more of something else, I might choose the veggie cook. And that will give me some recommendations based on my cooking style. Now down here in accessories, if you have any of these, you want to add them in because that will unlock more recipes and give you access to additional stuff. So if you've got the sensor, the cutter, blade cover peeler, and also if you just have the original blade cover, add that in because there were some recipes that had that one before we got the blade cover peeler. Choosing your filter preferences, Elman and I recommend English unless you, sometimes I don't particularly like the US recipes, but there are some that I do love, and so I don't like to skip them out. But if you do English, you'll get access to all of the English recipes in Cookidoo. If you speak another language, tick that as well. But recommend ticking English as opposed to Australia and UK and the US, because there are some English ones just floating around that may not be in those 3 countries. Don't have to tick a Thermomix version unless you've got a 5 or a 31. If you've got a 31, it's recommended because then you won't get the recipes that have the modes that you won't be able to use in your machine. And so it's best just not to have access to them because then you won't feel like you're missing out. So that you then press save, and now I've got access to all of those recipes. So if someone ever shares a recipe and you can't find it, just double check you've got English recipes selected as your filter. All right, so just annoying Zoom screen in the way. Okay, so let's go into Explore. Now this is your home screen. This is where it will usually generally take you when you go to your Thermomix, but also into your account. And the main search place is here. So if you have a little look, they can sometimes, I generally like this one as well. It gives you the new and latest recipes that have recently been added to Cookidoo. So I tend to try at least 1 or 2 new dishes from each new collection that comes out. And then if you want to obviously access them, it will show you them in the order that they're released into Cookidoo. So sometimes they're a bit of a double up, or some of these recipes have already exist, like the Basque cheesecakes, but they've done them in a mini size. And the mini molds, they have been released there on Cookidoo, in our mix shop. And so what you'll find is sometimes we have new products released to our shop, and then we create recipes to be able to use those. And I think that's pretty cool as well. So that's what you can find when you click in what's new. And then you've got a few, if you want to learn a little bit about different things that come up from time to time. And there's some recommendations as well. So lots of things that you can do there. But the main place we go is our search. And so here we would generally use filters, and that's because you know, scrolling through 12,000 recipes is going to be a little bit overwhelming. And so we go into our filters. Before I do that, just want to quickly show you here, you can access either recipes on their own, or you can access through collections. So if I want to access through collections, I might go, so let's say I did high heat before. I want to be able to use high heat in my Thermomix. So I'm going to go into collections and check out all of the high heat collections that are available to me. So, you know, that one, probably the recipe I did just tonight would have been in basics onions. Let's have a little look at this one, Whoopi's favorites. I haven't seen this one. So that's interesting. There you go. Look at that. So lemon granita. So these are her favorites. Interesting. What do you guys think? I think I remember seeing something that Whoopi had given a Thermomix away to everyone in the audience, didn't she? Did you see that, Elman? It's pretty amazing. Happy healthy gut. There you go. That fills up my alley. I've made this one. That's delicious. Chickpea ratatouille. Cutter fermented onions. They would be amazing. So if you see a recipe that you like, this is where you start to funnel them into different places. Now, if I go into the recipe, I can move it, or I can just do it through the 3 little dots here. So if I know that's a recipe that I love and I want to keep, and I want to come back to, everyone sort of does this a little bit different. And Elman, you can share how you do it. I use Bookmark for recipes I haven't tried yet that I'm sort of interested in trying. I'm like, yep, I've seen that. I like the look of it. I'm going to bookmark it and I'm going to have a go. If I really like it, I add it to a collection. So how do you use Bookmark different to that, Elman?
No, I like to bookmark the things that I want to explore, and once I explore it, I put it in my collections like you do. Or I say no, I need to change it, and then I go to creative recipes and change it, and then I put it in my collections.
Yes. Yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, I would like to actually try this one. I'm sure it tastes amazing. I don't need to bookmark that one because it's just a basic. So I'm going to actually add that to, I could create a new collection, or I've got a few here. All these top ones are cooking classes, so just ignore those ones. That's because we run in-person cooking classes. But I've got my favorite breakfast, breads, dinners, sides, food basics. So it'll go into food basics, gluten-free favorites, snacks, sweets. And so they're sort of my main categories that I use. If the kids sort of wanted a Cookidoo collection, I could create one for them, or they could create their own. So this one is going to go into my food basics. All right, so let's go back to our search. Now, I'm going to remove this and I'm going to go back to recipes on their own. So if we click on search, we're going to do a few filters. I do find it's a little easier if you use a category first. Otherwise, you end up with a whole array of different types of food. So if you're really looking for something specific, then put it in there. You might be going, right, I really want to cook some vegetarian dishes this week. So I'm going to do some main dishes vegetarian. I'll probably throw in rice and pasta in that as well, because they'll have a lot of vegetarian dishes. And I might even throw in other, because I'm assuming that will also have some. Soups would be good too, because I like to have soups as a main. So I've got those categories selected. Now, if I have a specific ingredient that I want to use up, I might have beetroot in my fridge, or Elman, what's an ingredient I should put in?
Zucchini.
Zucchini. All right. So I've got some zucchini. Make sure you select it. It is the end of zucchini season, but there could be some frozen in the freezer, ready to go. If I didn't want ingredients, I probably wouldn't, unless it was really, usually I would just omit an ingredient, because if you put in an excluded ingredient, you're going to end up with far less recipes than your options. So depending on the ingredient, of course, but I don't think that one's as necessary. Tags are great for if you really want to have it, gluten-free or dairy-free or nut-free, and you're not sure how to substitute, then that's a great way to funnel out those recipes that have things you can't have. Could be, I'll show you where you can see the tags so you sort of know what you're playing with. Elman, do you ever do difficulty?
No, everything in the Thermomix is easy. I think that the why they have easy, medium, and advanced. Usually, it's more time focused. So advanced is something that you might do over 3 days, or like the fermentation that you do, or that blueberry reduction that you need to do. It's a couple of steps that might take a couple of days, and that's more advanced. That's the only thing.
Yeah, cool. And we just won't select them if we don't have 3 days, right? So
Yeah.
if you're really time poor, you can put in, quick prep or quick total time. Sometimes if I know I've only got 30 minutes to get dinner done and served, I might put in total less than 30 minutes. It does limit the recipes that come out. So I'll only do that if I really only have 30 minutes before we have to eat. And portions with scaled recipes these days, I tend not to put portions in, because then again, I'm also limiting the recipes that I've got access to. And so I will just scale a recipe up or down if I want to make it bigger or smaller portions. I do like to search by star ratings. I feel really sorry, like really bad for the 3 and 2 and 1 star rated recipes, but you know, the ratings generally don't lie unless they're a new recipe that's out there and maybe one person's rated it and it's not very accurate. So let's just go with all 3 of those. Those 9 recipes at 3-star might have just had a really unlucky day and they've only got a couple of people who've rated them.
But having said that, Claire, one of the things that when you make recipes using Cookidoo, it's always a good idea to go back and rate them, because as soon as more people rate the recipes, we will get a more balanced view of what it is. Because there might be a recipe that Claire absolutely raves about, and I think it's not nice, right? And so it all depends on your preference. So if we put in what we like and how we appreciate that recipe, we will get a more balanced view of the ratings.
This is true. I generally only rate the ones that I think are 4 or 5 star. Actually, I generally only rate the 5-star ones because I do think, you know, if I don't like it, it doesn't make it a bad recipe. It could just be that it's not my kind of food. But there are, and I will tweak recipes as well to suit my style of eating and cooking. So it would be very hard for me to rate them successfully for them. So this is what we've got. We've got 87 results with these 4 categories with zucchini in them. And I probably didn't need these because they only had those stars. And so look at that. So what would you guys do with that? Would you go, what do you normally do when you find recipes? You get excited. This one looks good. Carrot gnocchi. I had made gnocchi today. I haven't made this one. So I might go into there. I can see it's got 116 ratings at 4.2 stars. So that's pretty good. That's 116 people have given that a pretty high rating. If I wanted to rate that, whether I'm on the app or on my desktop, I just click on the stars and I select the stars that I want and I press submit. So that's how you rate recipes. And if you want to scale it up or down, you click on the portions. Most of them will give you access to either make it your own or to scale up or down. This is one that you would have to make your own and convert to a created recipe. If you want to learn a little bit more about created recipes, definitely reach out to your consultant, get them to come over and do a demo with you, a demo with 2 friends, you know, and then they will be able to do a little bit of a lesson on how to create and convert recipes for you. So that would be a really great partnership, win-win for everyone, you and for them. So yeah, that's that. And then the other thing that we can do, so we might add it to a collection. We might bookmark it for later. So I'll just bookmark that one for later. I could add it to my week. Now, I might go, I'm going to cook that one on Thursday night. So I'm going to save that one there. If I want to cook it today, I just cook today and that adds it to my Thermomix. And I just go into the screen and go cook today or my week, and it will have that in there. Once I've done all of my exploring, I can then have a look at my recipes here. And so here's all my bookmarked recipes. There's a little bit of an interesting mix of these. And sometimes someone shares a recipe on Instagram or Facebook, and I think, oh, I'd really love to try that. I'm not really in a position to sort of think about that too much. If I then make them, like I did make that one and I didn't really like it, I would just remove it from my list. If I made it and I liked it, I would add it to a collection. So that's my bookmarks. And then obviously you've got your created collections or you've got your saved collections. Now the saved collections are ones that are released by Thermomix. So that's the ones that you'll find when you go into search and you go collections. If I wanted to, so this is our new Varoma Bund tin, and you can actually earn that by signing up as a consultant at the moment. But if I wanted to save this collection, I would press save, and that then adds it to my recipes in my saved collections. So
And
it'll be,
once you've saved that, it means that you can have access even if you don't have Wi-Fi connection. So if you go on holiday with a dodgy Wi-Fi connection and you've downloaded the recipes, you can still access them.
and that is so good, because imagine having your TM6 and not being able to cook any recipes on it. That would be disastrous. You'd have to cook them all manually from your phone on the app. All right, so we've had a little look at collections and recipes and how we find recipes. Guys, if you do have questions, please jump off mute. Otherwise we're sort of, yeah, make this what you need it to be. So here's my week. And there you go, I added that one in. This is our Wednesday, 12th of June is our next virtual class. So that's the first of the dishes that we're going to be doing for you. Once we lock them in, I like to add them to my weeks, good remembrance. You can see your past history as well. So I can have a little look at my past weeks. If I go, oh, what was that recipe? I was going to cook that and I didn't. I'm a little bit erratic when it comes to meal planning, and you'll probably find the same recipe multiple days in a row because I don't get around to cooking it and then I keep moving it. Some days I get really busy, and other days, like this Wednesday, the 8th, we did a cooking class. And so that was all of those dishes. And it looks like on that Sunday, I got really busy cooking. I don't think I actually cooked. There's a 3 in there. I can see that I didn't actually cook. So the other thing you can do is add things to your shopping list. Now I've added the avocado dressing that I made the other day. Let's add a couple of, not that one, that's too small. Let's add this one. So add to my shopping list. Once I've got a few things in there, I can actually have a little look at my ingredients. You can search by category or by recipe. So I've already said I've got all of these things for the avocado dip. If you do cross them out, but you actually didn't mean to, you can go back down. And then what I do is I just tick off all of the things I've already got and leave on my list the things that I need to purchase. So tonight I actually ran out of red lentils. So I had to go and get those. But and I needed celery as well. Everything else I had. And so if I was at home and I was doing my planning for the week and I've got, 8 recipes in here, I have ticked off all of the things that I have, like garlic and salt. I made my own chicken stock paste, which is amazing, olive oil. So pretty much all of the basics. I can then actually order those ingredients online. Now, if you do Woolworths online, then this is a win for you. If you don't, then you can use your app and use it as a shopping list when you're at the shop. And as you put the ingredients in your cart, in the shopping center, in the shop, you can tick them off. So once you're in the shop at Woolworths, you can actually swap them out. So, if I want brown onions, I can swap and choose the other item that I want. So I want this one. You can choose more or less and so on. So, and then you just add it to your Woolworths cart. Pretty nifty. If you don't do online shopping, that's okay.
And also what I love about the shopping list is that you can add additional items that's not related to your recipe. So if you want to put in toothpaste there or dog food or whatever you want to do, you can. And then you have a complete list when you go to the shops or when you order online.
There you go. 3 essential ingredients. Yeah, I love that as well. So, who wants to have to write a paper note these days when you've got it all at your fingertips on your phone? Let me just unshare for a sec. All right. So do we have any questions? Is there anything you guys want to know a little bit more about? We've got about another 5 minutes with you. Can you print the shopping list? That's a great question. Let's just come to this and let me show you. All right, so here's my options. I can share. So what that will do is it copies that list for me, and I'm actually going to put that into the chat so you can see how that comes out. So there's my list. I could send that to someone else in my family who might be at the shop, or I could print that. And so that then takes it to my printer. So yes, you can. Handy. Or I could just clear it all. There we go. I've got no items in my cart anymore. Any other questions? All right. Well, if we don't have any questions, what did you guys learn tonight that you didn't already know? And that will then sort of be a little bit of feedback for us. What's valuable when we run these sessions? Yeah. Feel free to jump off mute. I can pause the recording if you'd rather not jump off with the recording. All right, everyone. So we have just shown you a little bit about the TM6 and also Cookidoo, which is an incredible platform that enhances how we use our Thermomix and of course our lives. And so now we're just going to tell you a little bit about the Thermomix business opportunity that's available to everyone. So whether you own a Thermomix or don't own a Thermomix, doesn't matter which model, because you can earn yourself a TM6. You can operate your business pretty much part-time, full-time, or as a side hustle. A lot of our field team have full-time jobs and they do Thermomix because it's a passion for them. It's fun. You get to learn a lot about your Thermomix. The flexibility of the business is amazing. That's definitely the number one reason why I do this business and have done this business for the last 12 years. I just love that I can be around my family all of the time when they need me. So I've got 3 teenagers and they still need me. And they needed me when I was young and I was there for them in this business. So I encourage anybody who is even considering it just a little bit to see how it might fit into your life. And rather than just watch the info session, once you've got the info, reach out to your consultant, or if you're in touch with a team leader, reach out to them, have a conversation, because it could look different for everybody. So tonight's going to be sort of that generic run through. Now, when pre-COVID, we did everything in person. And then once COVID happened, we had to evolve and adapt. And we had some incredible years in the virtual space. And we never thought it would be possible. We always said, oh, but people need to see it. They need to touch it. They need to taste the food. But then we got proven wrong in COVID, because people didn't need to. We could jump online and show them and they still got excited by the Thermomix. And we do this business because we know we've got a product that helps people eat better, shop better, save time. It's a game changer in the kitchen and it makes such a big difference in people's lives. And we also have that same belief about our business. So we know that a Thermomix business is rewarding in so many ways, and you can do it in a way that works for you. So it might be in-home demos at people's houses. It might be through, or in addition, you might like to do virtual demos, deliveries, that sort of thing. And we've also got social media as a great platform for sharing our passion for cooking and for the Thermomix. So yeah, there's a few different ways that you can do it. You can do all or some. So what I'm going to show you here is a little video, and it's a demo campaign that we did. And I think we're still running it actually, because the number one thing that we get to do as consultants is share our passion for the Thermomix by cooking with people in their homes. And that is one of the most rewarding things that we get to do. And it's such a fun experience. If you haven't had a demo before, I strongly encourage you to have that experience. So here's a little snip of what it could look and feel like.
Hi everyone, welcome to today's cooking demonstration. My name is Helen. How are we all today?
Good.
Yeah, you're excited? What's better than a Thermomix? Me, your Thermomix consultant. I'm here to help you on your journey so you get the most out of your Thermomix. From meal planning to Cookidoo, I'll spill the beans on everything.
Whoa.
There's so many tips and tricks I've got to share. How is it?
Oh, delicious.
Nice.
It was great to give it a try first.
Yeah, it really helps you understand how much it can do.
Wow.
Let me show you just how much your Thermomix can do for you. Perfect.
There you go. It's just a little bit of the magic of what we get to do as consultants. And you get to fit it in and around the other important things in your life. Now, we have a very generous commission structure and incentive programs in our business. And we've got an amazing woman that we work for, Grace Mazier. She is the reason we have Thermomixes here in Australia. So we're all forever grateful to her for pursuing getting those into Australia. Most of us who've had a Thermomix for even a short period of time can only imagine what it's like not to have one anymore. Jackie, you know what that's all about. So with our commission structure, the way we get paid as consultants is per calendar month. The amount of sales that you make in a month will calculate the total commissions. So when you do one sale in a month, you'll make $255 for the Thermomix sale. The more you sell, the more you make per machine sale. So you can see the different jumps. This is the biggest jump into that 3 sales. So when you sell 3 sales, you make $365 per Thermomix, which makes you over $1,000 commission for the 3 parts. Now you can sell as many as you like. There's no cap. And the top commission tier is $435. So that's pretty amazing. There's not there's not a lot of products out there where you can sell that many and have that sort of income. Now, in addition to your monthly sales on your Thermomixes, you've got mix shop commissions. So if you've never explored our mix shop before, go into our Thermomix website and you'll find the mix shop. There's an amazing array of different sort of accessories for either the Thermomix or for use in the kitchen that complement a lot of Cookidoo recipes. When your customers purchase items from the mix shop, you do make a bonus commission on those. And so that's in addition to the monthly commissions. A couple of other streams of income. You've got a recruiting bonus. So when you inspire someone to become a consultant like yourself, then you do get paid a one-off bonus payment. Should you choose to step into a more full-time role with Thermomix, you can actually build your own team and benefit from that with commissions. So once you're a consultant, or if you want to come in and leadership's on your radar and you're like, yep, I want to make this business a little bit more, let us know straight up. Like, we will help you get there if that's what you want. We also have, I mentioned a generous incentive program. So every month consultants are given an opportunity to earn a whole bunch of different stuff. And it varies from anywhere from a Thermomix to a vacuum range, to mix shop items, and sometimes something completely outside of the Thermomix realm. So kind of keeps us on our toes. On the first of each month, we get an email explaining what we're going to be earning for the month, and it's pretty exciting. Now, for new consultants joining, there's actually some additional incentives that you get, and they're pretty exciting. So when you start out as a new consultant, you have what we call the 60-day program, and that's kind of like an apprenticeship period that you get to trial being a consultant, see what it's like, see if it fits for you. And in that time, you've got a couple of bonus things. So in your 60-day program, when you sell 3 Thermomixes, you earn yourself the blade cover peeler and the Thermomix cutter. So a couple of items that people love to have. If you don't have them, fantastic. If you do, they could be a great gift item, or it's always nice to have spares for when customers want to buy them. You'll also get a bowl, blade and lid set for free with 6 sales. Now, at the moment, the purchase offer is a $29 bowl. So you could potentially have those 3 bowls on your bench within a few months. Otherwise, you could store it for spare parts or sell them. So it's worth $395.
The other amazing things that we have available. So once you finish your 60-day program, you actually jump into the Booster Rewards program. And this is exclusive for new consultants. And all of these things you see are currently available in that program. And each one is a sale. And so you work your way up. Once you hit your 12th sale and you've earned all of those amazing things, you get to earn a free Thermomix. So if you're looking at coming in to earn a Thermomix, you're actually paying for that one with your commissions. This one here is free. You still get commission on top of all of those amazing gifts. So we were pretty blown away when they rolled this out earlier this year. We couldn't actually believe it. And probably 80% of our field team said, can I go away and come back again as a new consultant? We're like, no, you can't. But nice try. So go and encourage all of your friends out there to come and benefit with these amazing rewards. All right, let's have a look at what you need to get started. So you do need a Thermomix Model 6. You can earn that or reduce the cost of it through the Earn program. You can buy it outright using any of our payment options, or you can bring it if you've already got one. So you need to have the TM6, and you do need to have a business kit. Now, we've got a promotion at the moment that is a half price business kit. So it is a limited time offer. Please make sure you talk to your consultant. If you're watching this recording, it may have ended already. So just be aware that this is a recording, and as of today, it's available, but yeah, it's for a very limited time. So reach out to your consultant as soon as possible. It's a $150 business kit, which is still an incredible price for all of the things that you get. You've got the carry bag to take your Thermomix to out of your home safely. You've got a couple of our amazing host rewards, Thermomat, Thermoserver, sample bowls for the demo. All of your paperwork's provided free in an ongoing capacity, so you don't have to buy paperwork, which is a real bonus. If you've worked in other direct sales companies, you usually have to buy your own paperwork. And then you've got your apron, which I'm wearing because I haven't taken it off yet. We've also got the TM5 trade up. So if you've got friends or relatives or people that you know that have a 5 and are thinking of upgrading, then, you know, if you do come on board before the 18th of June, then that's an opportunity for you. So the Earn program. Now, how the Earn program works is you pay a deposit of $849, and that then dispatches your Thermomix. So you pay the $849. You've then got a few weeks to get yourself ready. So do some training, get your bookings in, and then in your 60-day program, so you've got 2 months, 6 sales will give you back that deposit of $849. Each sale reduces the balance owing. So let's say worst case scenario, you get to the end of your 60-day program, you haven't sold a Thermomix, you owe the balance of $1,730. So that's the only downside to not selling a Thermomix. You're still paying the same price, $2,579 for your machine. However, every sale takes the balance down. And so once you hit that 3 sale mark, you've paid half of your Thermomix off. So 3 sales means the balance is $1,080 and you've paid for half of your machine, which is pretty cool. And then every sale from there onwards, sorry, $440 is all you owe at 3 sales. I'm sure Elman was like, what is Claire saying? So then 4 sales, you only owe $150. And then once you hit 5, 6, you start to get some money back. Now, I know you can sell 6 Thermomixes because 12 years ago, I sold more than 6 Thermomixes in my 60-day program, and I earned my Thermomix. And I think if I can do that 12 years ago with a TM31, you can do that 12 years later with a TM6. So Elman and I and Kate and whoever your team leader is and consultant that you're working with, we will be there to support you and give you all of the tools that you need to make it a success. All right, so that's the Earn program. So one of the ways that you can get a Thermomix on your bench. This here is your support team. So yes, us, but also all of these people across the company in Australia and New Zealand. On this, this was our International Women's Day poster. And one of our values as a company is togetherness. And so that really resonated with us, having Thermomix togetherness. And this is a group of consultants, team leaders, and leaders who are in the company, who are employees across Australia, New Zealand, that are on this on this image. And these are all of the people that will be backing you in your business. And so it's a beautiful company to work for. It's an amazing family-owned business in Australia. And yeah, it's very different to maybe what you would perceive in a traditional sales company and sales environment. Very, very supportive. And people pretty much want the best for everyone. And we know there's an abundance of business for everyone, where in New South Wales and ACT, there is about at top of 6% saturation of Thermomixes in households. So 94% of New South Wales and ACT households don't yet have a Thermomix. So that's crazy. Like, you're probably thinking, some of you might be thinking, oh my God, everyone I know has a Thermomix. Well, guess what? There's a lot of people out there who don't. And so, yeah, heaps and heaps of potential for us to share our passion for Thermomix. So to get started, there is an online application form, and you'll get sent that, and you can just read through the terms and conditions. If you then choose to sign up, if it's through Earn, you'll go through the process of ordering your Thermomix with the deposit. If you've already got your Thermomix, or if you want to purchase outright, then you'll have that as well. You'll then book in to see a demo, because once you've decided to be a consultant, you wear a different hat. And so you will watch that demo and observe and pick up the things that will be meaningful for you to then go out and host your own demos as a consultant. You have some online learning, which is probably no more than 2 hours, just a bit of compliance stuff. You've also got an onboarding workshop that goes for about 2.5 hours with your business development manager, who you will get to meet once you sign up. You'll then also have that time to generate some bookings, because it's the bookings that are going to help you get out there and meet the people who are genuinely interested in the Thermomix. So we start with our friends and family, people we know who own a Thermomix, and they introduce us to people we don't know yet. Your team leader will run through how to do that demo with you. So you've got lots of support, as much or as little as you need in pretty much your entire business, but a lot more in the beginning if you need it. So that is pretty much all of the formal information. The next steps we would recommend is that you do talk to the person who you're involved with in Thermomix, whether it's your consultant or their team leader or your team leader. And yeah, let them know what your thoughts are, answer your questions. Normally in these sorts of sessions, we would have an opportunity time for Q&A, but because you guys are watching the recording, we won't obviously have that time to do the Q&A. So please make sure you let the person who you're connected with know that you've attended or watched this session, and have a conversation. So look forward to seeing you. You've got nothing to lose. There's no downside to joining that I can think of in any shape or form. And if you don't like it, you don't have to stay. If you love it, then we all get to know each other and learn from each other. So thank you for attending. Thank you for attending. If you watched all 3 sessions, a little bit about meeting the TM6, our Cookidoo workshop, and also our business information session. Thank you, Elman, for supporting the sessions with me. And yeah, see you all soon.